Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to get into my PTSD, but I want to explain something about my channel first. I know a lot of you probably think, wow, that channel's boring. Wow, that channel's depressing. Wow, that channel is sad. It is, but it's informational. And what I'm doing here is trying to help people understand some things. Trying to help people understand what they may be going through, what their family or friends may be going through, and give you causes, give you symptoms, and possibly give you some, I don't know, maybe some skills, coping skills to learn to deal with situations. And as always, I always recommend that if you have some of these things or suspect that you have some of these things, or that your family members or friends have some of these things, that you go and see a professional. I could be a professional if I went and got licensed, but go see a professional. And don't be afraid to talk to them. Let them know what you're going through. Don't hold anything back. Be honest with them. Tell them everything. And they will help you build some coping skills. And in some cases, depending on how severe, get you the proper medication you may need to get through these situations. Okay? Now I know that on social media, you see everybody smiling, having a good time. The whole world is hunky-dory, just great and wonderful. When in fact, the whole world is not. People are going through a lot of things, depression, different types of things. Most of these things that I'm going to be talking about, they go through depression, anxiety. They just fear a lot of things, and they fear things that are happening to them. A lot of them don't understand what's happening to them. So this is a chance to get the lowdown on the different types of, we call them dysfunctions. Some people still call them disorders, that people can be going through. Sometimes it's very painful. It's always very depressing. Most all of these disorders that I talk about, you're going to hear about depression in them. You're going to hear about anxiety in them, stress. You're going to hear about how they affect your job, how they affect your school, and different things like that, such as PTSD. Okay, yes, for many years, people thought PTSD was only a military thing, and I've explained this in other videos. Okay, yes, the majority of the people with PTSD are veterans. Okay, they're over fighting wars. They see a lot of death. They're being shot at. Their lives are in constant danger. Excuse me. So, they're life-threatening situations. However, the people over here that are not in the military and stuff like that, they go through similar situations. As I explained before, mass shootings, school shootings, theater shootings, people shooting at your home, people shooting at you, getting wounded, seeing a fatal car accident, or just any type of tragic accident. Okay? Children can get PTSD. If they live in live in an abusive household, abusive parents. Sometimes the abuse doesn't have to be directed directly at the child. Okay? The child can just sit there and witness the abuse, in their parents. You know, the spouse is going at each other all the time, getting physical, getting violent. A lot of these abusive situations end up in murder or suicide or both. You know, murder, suicide, and children see this stuff. If they're not killed in the process, children see this stuff. This is a life-threatening situation for them. Children become fearful. Okay, if they're in an abusive household where they're being physically abused, sexually abused, verbally abused, all this can lead to PTSD. Okay, in children, and that's going to make life for them very, very tough as they start getting older. Men and women both are abused, one way or the other, in abusive situations. Most of the time, men don't discuss it because it's kind of embarrassing to them because of their ego, or they think people are going to look down on them because a woman is constantly beating on them, or a woman is constantly verbally abusing them, and stuff like that. Excuse me, I need to get a drink here. However, men do get abused, just like women do. When men are the abusers, it's much worse. Okay? So anyway, these are all things that can lead to PTSD. PTSD can come up in many ways. Tragedy, violence, personal tragedy, violence, natural disasters, accidents, neglect, abuse, for military combat. There are also other risk factors for PTSD, and I have my notes here. I got them set in front of me so I can see them, because I don't want, like I said before, I don't want to lead you down the wrong road. PTSD can come from previous tragic, traumatic experiences, especially early in life, family history of depression, and see, there I go again with the word depression. You're going to hear that a lot. And as I said, physical and sexual assault, substance abuse. Substance abuse can cause PTSD. Substance abuse has an effect on the brain. Okay, and a lot of people doesn't think it does, but it does. Marijuana even has an effect on the brain, and I know that it can help with some types of pain and stuff like that. You know, other mental illnesses can cause PTSD as well. I lost my train of thought again. There I go. See, that's what happens when you get old. No, I'm just messing with you. I'm trying to have some fun with you here while I'm being serious. Okay, everything that I'm talking about here is very serious stuff. Because people doesn't seem to have control over the situations, the traumatic situations that they're into that causes PTSD, they tend to want to be controlling in life. They want to kind of control everything that's going on, everything that they do, everything that others do, everything that's happening in life. They want to try to control that, because with what had happened to them was uncontrollable. Okay? PTSD can also be confused with bipolar disorder, because PTSD and bipolar disorder have some of the same symptoms, similar symptoms, and same symptoms. It can be easily confused. Okay? That is the importance of getting professional help if you believe you have PTSD, because you may not have PTSD, you may have bipolar disorder. And You don't want to be, oh, please, whatever you do not self-medicate. Okay, this is going to make the problem a lot worse. All right. A lot of people don't realize that most drugs and alcohol is a downer. Okay, so if you're already down and you're doing drugs or you're drinking a lot, trying to self-medicate that way, that's how it's going to make the problem worse. So, with that being said, you really need to take a look at your life to see what's going on. Okay, PTSD does have, in their symptoms, does have a little bit of, let me explain it this way. I'm going to try to explain it where everybody can understand. Okay, with PTSD, you go into a depressed state, you go down. Okay, every once in a while in PTSD, you're going to come up. It's going to be like you're high. Okay, that's the euphoric state. And in that state, you'll do a lot of things that strike you as strange later. Like you may run to Walmart, Target, dollar store, whatever, and may spend a lot of money. And later on, you'll regret it. Once you start coming back down and start going back down in that depressed state, you're going to think to yourself, why did I go buy all this stuff? Okay, this happens a lot with manic depressives as well. Okay, the difference is with those two, manic depressive, when they go into that euphoric state, they will go to the store and they'll try to buy the whole store. They will try to buy the whole store, or they'll run out and try to buy a brand new car, or a bunch of jewelry. Okay, that's what the euphoric state does. Okay, then you go back down into the depressed state. When you go down into the depressed state, sometimes you're going to feel guilty when you have no reason to, because with PTSD, whatever happened that caused your PTSD was uncontrollable, and it wasn't your fault. There's no need to feel guilty. However, you're going to, okay? You're going to have feelings of guilt. Sometimes you're going to have physical pain, okay? There's going to be nightmares and flashbacks. And what I mean by physical pains, you may get a headache, you may get migraines, chest pains, and things like that. And with flashbacks and nightmares, you're going to be reliving the event, okay? The end results in the dreams may differ from what the results were, but in either case, you're still gonna have the flashbacks and you're gonna have the dreams. Okay. You may think that, well, if I would have done this or I would have done that or the other, it wouldn't have happened. Okay. You can't say that. All right, because you never know what you're going to do in them type of situations until you're in them. Okay. A lot of people will tell you, oh yeah, if somebody was going to shoot me, well, I would do this, I would do that, or I would do the other. When in reality, if somebody was going to shoot them, they'd probably drop to their knees and cry and beg, please don't shoot me. And I'm not talking about just women, I'm talking about men too. Okay, because in your mind, before any type of event like that happens to you, you run these things through your mind. You know, you see on the news if somebody got shot and killed or whatever, and there was no way to prevent it. As they say, there's no way to prevent it, or they could have done this, that, or the other, and that would have prevented their demise and all. But as I said, you never know what you're going to do in a situation like that until you're actually in the situation. Okay? as I said, you're going to experience, some of you with PTSD are going to experience depression, anxiety. A lot of you are going to withdraw. And I see that a lot because, as I had stated before, in my family, there are members that has PTSD. I have a lot of friends that have PTSD. And a lot of times, they won't go out of the house. They will stay in the house. Because, why? Because they're safe. Okay? That's kind of where anxiety kind of falls into it, you know? A fear of going outside, because if they go outside, the same thing might happen, or something else might happen. They will avoid things, okay? If they can avoid going outside, they will. And so they'll avoid things. They'll avoid going into extremely populated areas for fear that something might happen to them, which is, again, anxiety. So they will do that too. And this video is getting a little bit long here, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say bye-bye, but I will be back soon, okay? And pick up right where I left off here. So with that, again, I say thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Leave me a comment down below and hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you a little bit later. Okay? Bye-bye.